So first of all, Perry, how are you?
I'm good, man. So good.
I'm happy
to be
that
here.
you finally come to Koh Phangan, place that I feel that you left a piece of you, left your soul, and I feel that you had a very strong desire to come back here, and now you're finally here.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be part of this, and I would like to know a little bit of your story. So, where are you from? What are you doing, and what actually bring you, first of all, to Koh Phangan?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Wouldn't be here without you. You helped me so much when I was returning to this island, so thank you for that. As far as the first time I ever came, it was actually an experience that I had in Los Angeles when I was living there, 2018, 2019. And my friend had just come from a yoga retreat on the island.
Wow.
And then she met up with me. We did a small dose of psilocybin chocolate. And it was my first time ever experiencing anything psychedelic. And what it did was it basically allowed me to see beyond the bubble of my little reality. And I could see that I wasn't in LA for the right reasons. I wasn't truly happy.
How old you was then?
I was 25.
Wow. How old are you now?
32.
32. Wow, 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So within 45 minutes, I decided to sell everything besides my guitars and move to Thailand and never look back on it for a single heartbeat.
In order for something like this to happen, you must have a very powerful experience. I think what you saw, what you experienced, that I think you realized how much you was going through life, and similar to what happened to me when I was working a lot. And I think you was giving a lot to other people, trying to please other people,
Yeah.
and then you realize, you know what, this is not life. I think I want to, first of all, change my environment, go in a place where I'm a little bit more free, and then, wow, it takes such a little time for you, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes to decide.
It's pretty bizarre, yeah.
Wow.
And to not second guess the decision after I'd come back to the old way of being. That was what kind of actually gave me more confidence in my decision.
To say that's the right decision.
Yeah, I just knew.
That's actually powerful, because most of the time I think we are wishing something and then we second guessing, or even we talk with someone who maybe have a different opinion, and this can immediately kind of stop us or break the desire that we have to do whatever we want to do. And how this actually bring you to come here in Koh Phangan? You say about you wanted to come to make your first retreat or yoga, right?
That was my excuse.
Okay.
The real motivation was that I felt I had been placed inside of an intellectual, conceptual box by the people who knew me. Even friends and family that loved me, they had an idea of who I was. And I felt that I was something more than that. And so what you said about changing the environment and the power of that, I think changing your environment and your social roles are the two most powerful ways to expand beyond your current state.
And also, I think you say something powerful, like you feel like you was in this box because you know your potential, you know who you are, and you know what you want to become. But the person, I think many times even family and friends, because they stay where they are, they will never see you for the potential you have. And this is why many times we get blocked and we get stopped by reaching the full potential when it comes to ourselves. I think this is a powerful choice that not many people have a courage to do in their life. So when you come first in Koh Phangan, I would like to know the story of you deciding, okay, this is the place that I want to come. This is the place that I want to be. And then from there, how did you fall in love with the movement, or with what are you doing now?
So when I first got to the island, the yoga retreat I went to changed my life. Being surrounded by people that were so diverse, first of all, from all over the world, and yet so similar in our desire for transformation and for peace and for freedom. So connecting with people that were just unlike anyone I'd ever met before, it was transformational. And then I knew I wasn't going to leave. I just felt like this was home. And so I knew I was going to find a way to make it work. So I ended up being paid like $450 a month to work at a hostel like 12 to 16 hours a day, making pizza, building and renovating a new restaurant, just doing whatever I could just to stay. And then I started managing the yoga school that I went to, and then COVID happened and we got shut down. And then I spent 6 months in kind of a dark place of depression, really, which had been a cyclical pattern of mine for a long time. And then from that place of darkness, I spent a lot of time in isolation, a lot of time in meditation, contemplating.
This is where the self-discipline came in. This is why I think...
Not yet, no. This is where self-awareness came in. Self-awareness was born in that darkness. And because, peace is never more important to you than when you don't have it. Mm-hmm. And so when you are in a good place and you're feeling happy and just upbeat and things are going well, it's easy to neglect your internal awareness and your internal journey of awakening. Whereas when you're in darkness and suffering, it's all you want.
I know you now, I will say only 2 years maybe, 2 years. We had a chance to connect a little bit, and I see you as a very strong person, and I know that most of us who showing a strong side are also having a not easy path that we're going through. So I would like to know, how did martial arts, or how do a Tai Chi, or how all of this came to your life, and how you go from this dark place that you was before into coming back again to desire of creating something nice.
Mm-hmm. So in that dark place, I became, my sort of crutch was eating. It's just overeating.
Emotional.
Yeah, emotional coping. I tried to stay away from drugs as much as I could, but food was kind of my coping mechanism. So I got very out of shape. Well, gained a lot of weight and felt, terrible in my body, no confidence, just very unhealthy. And what shifted was I was like, okay, I'm going to start working out again. I'm going to get fit again. And that began an outward journey, right, where I was becoming more physically fit and healthy, but there was still a tainted intention behind it. There was the intention of, this is what's going to make me enough. This is what's going to bring me the happiness. So that began to surface in the form of yo-yoing, where I get in shape and I lose it, get in shape, lose it, and I can't stay consistent because I'm not doing it for the right reasons. And that's where Qigong came in. That's where I met Ferdinand.
Yeah.
That's where he showed me a strength training Qigong that was all about mindful movement, bringing presence into movement rather than moving in order to become something in my mind. And that was the big shift. And ever since then, I started to integrate Qigong, mindfulness into my strength training, even when I do cardio, when I run. Orbital breathing, I'm inside of my body, I'm aware of the breath. Everything changes when your state of consciousness changes. And you can be sitting next to a Buddhist monk in the same exact position, but two very states are going to be being experienced. You're thinking about lunch, he's aware of awareness. Yes. He's in a state of blissful peace. And the same thing kind of goes for the gym. I can be standing in front of a mirror doing bicep curls, looking like all the other people around me, but my stance is different. My feet are grounded. My fascial chain is
you're more into
structural tension.
More into
my breath is moving. I'm aware of what's happening inside my body, and then the innervation, the irradiation throughout my joints. Everything is happening with intention. Whereas before, it was simply, I need to do this movement in order to look like this, so that this will be the case.
It's I think when you put it in this way, for a lot of people, they will maybe never experience something like that, because if I will take my case, when I was a little bit younger, I thought that I need to exercise in order for aesthetic. It's something aesthetic, that I want to look good, I want to feel good in my clothes. But then the more I grew, I understand that this is why now in Body Connection, it's all about awareness into the movement. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to be aware, you have to be present. in what you're doing. And what you say is very powerful, and I really want people to start learning and experience this, because being present, and it doesn't matter the moment you do, breathing, for how many people simply, even breathing is not it's something normal, like you're meant to breathe. But when you're present, when you breathe, when you hear, when you smell, when you feel, because you have to feel. It's really important to add a feeling. So how long you been doing now Tai Chi, or how have you been practicing Tai Chi and strength training? I will say,
well, strength training I've been practicing for
a long time.
18 years. But for Tai Chi and Qigong, that began about 5 years ago. And the way in my mind, the way I describe it, the way it feels to me is, I used to go, and during my dark period of depression, I would begin to go to this garden on this mountaintop at Utopia Resort here on the island, and there's a sea view and a garden, and then watch the sunrise. So I would get there before I could see anything. And it struck me as interesting because I would sit there for hours every morning, just really strong presence, and everything in the garden would stay the same, right? The trees aren't moving, there's nothing new happening in the garden, but the light would come and everything would change. And so the exact same thing happens when you bring presence and awareness to movement. The movement itself doesn't necessarily change, although there are physiological benefits that happen when you bring your awareness into the body. And yet, though the movement looks the same, everything changes with the light of awareness. So that's what shifted whenever I started to begin practicing Qigong. Tai Chi became this moving meditation that, it's not just for, posture and alignment and fascial opening and all. It's about becoming completely immersed in awareness of the body. And when you do that, a whole different part of your brain lights up. On an fMRI machine, they can see it. Yeah. It's not just the default mode network where all your planning and rumination and anxiety spirals come from, which normally is what most people live in. Siphoning out of that, pulling energy out of that, it gets sucked into the anterior insula, which is where the sensory signals of the body are integrated with emotional and cognitive processing, right? So all of a sudden, your vagus nerve becomes more stimulated, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more activated, you become calmer, everything starts to flow more easily and calmly whenever you're in a state of presence, internal felt awareness.
You see in your experience working with the clients, working with people, how long for each person maybe take? Is it different regardless of the person? Because I think each one of us have a different way of learning things.
Yeah.
And to reach the presence and to really reach the feeling in the moment, how long it takes?
I can guide someone there in 1 hour.
Wow.
Yeah, just earlier, a couple days ago, I had someone I was speaking with who had never done any type of meditation. And we spoke, for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And then I guided her into a practice where she began to feel inside of her body. And at first she was like, well, I don't know what you mean. And then within just a few moments, she was like, oh, I feel a glow inside of my hands. I can feel a glowing energy inside of my feet. And I began to guide her consciousness through her body and then towards her breath. And then we practiced a very simple breathing exercise, Samavriti breathing. And then I did some guidance, and then by the end of it, she opened her eyes with this
light,
with this light, and she said, "I've never felt stillness before. I just felt myself."
Yeah, and it's like.
And I was, that was the biggest breakthrough she could possibly have, to understand that there is stillness inside of her, and that it is her. That is who she is. That is who we all are. And so that's what Qigong, Tai Chi, meditation brings you, is it pulls you out of the constant compulsive stream of thought moving through your mind and into the awareness behind it.
When you say, that's very powerful. When you say that she felt the energy, can you explain a little bit more? Because we are energetic beings. How do you express the energy? How did you feel the energy work?
So, on the scientific level, it's essentially bioelectrical energy flowing through the fascial chain. So the fascia connects the entire body. It encapsulates every nerve ending, every organ, all the muscles are one seamless web of fascia, right? Fascia transmits water, nutrients, electricity, light, and other things. It's full of collagen, right? So essentially what happens is, when there's a tension applied to the fascia, which is what Qigong normally does with our stance, our feet, our knees, our glutes, everything is creating this spiral, this tension.
Yeah.
And same thing with calisthenics, it's not just Qigong. What happens is the fascia generates what's called a piezoelectric discharge, which is where literally electrical energy is generated and spread throughout the entire fascial system.
Wow.
And so on a very physiological level, you are actually generating energy.
Yeah, energy.
Right? So that's what's, if you want to think about it from that perspective, it makes it a little less woo-woo spiritual. There are real things happening in your body that you can learn to become aware of. Just like that client, she didn't know she could feel the inside of her hands, but then within 15 minutes...
Yeah, then when you experience, it's different.
Exactly.
I think same like when I came to the island many years ago, and somebody told me about the yoga, meditation, and I never practiced before. And for me, awakening, everything was very strange. And I saw people who was practicing this because I was ignorant and I didn't know. I thought that we was just simply a body, that we go through this life and we live and we die. And when I started practicing and things for the body, mind, and soul, the whole new world opened. And this is why I started seeing the light, seeing the present. When I did meditation, for the first time ever, I felt like the peace, like you say, when you are nothing, when you're no one, there is no name, there is no gender, there is no nationality. Everything was simply calm. Everything was, it's simply presence. Like I felt in peace. And then you understand how life is actually simple, right? Being able to experience this, not many people will have. Like it's something very powerful. And I get emotional about it because I've been working very hard for many years. And I thought that when it comes to relaxation or being present, it's something that you have to put your mind into, okay, I'm here, I'm present. But actually, when I start simply focusing on breathing, maybe even closing my eyes, and simply do few breaths, when I completely calm myself and I forgot about everything there is around me. And then it makes me understand, wow, as a humans, we are very easy and very simple, but most of us will never experience that because we're so busy into these appointments and tasks. So, wow.
I understand, and I think what I repeat to myself even to this day, quite often, almost every day, I'll say, feel life more than you think about it. I think that's really what
It is.
Awakening comes down to, is being more aware of what you feel rather than just what you think.
There time ago when I was really working a lot, and it was difficult to calm. It was difficult to see that there is a way out, because it seems like there was constantly something going on in the life when you feel alone most of the time. You feel lonely. And it doesn't matter if you have family and friends, you kind of feel alone. Yeah. And I think being able to simply focus on your breathing, calm, close your eyes, it brings you into this peace when you really see that many things are not really important. It's really important, your peace, your presence, protecting your energy, protecting yourself. And you see?
No, same for me. Thinking back on the intense suffering I was experiencing, I was so much darkness, so much pain and sadness, and I think one of the beautiful gifts that I received from going through those dark chapters was understanding. I now have compassion for people, and I know it's nothing you can just change.
Yeah.
When you can't see the light, you can't see the light. It doesn't matter if someone has all these eloquent words and practices for you. If you're in that state,
Yeah, it comes.
you're blind to it.
Exactly.
And I get that. So I never ever try to change people. I simply become available. I make what I have to share open. I keep the door unlocked for people when they're ready to walk through. If they want to knock, I'm here. But if they're not ready for it, they're not ready for it. And you can't see it.
It's
until you're
powerful
ready.
because you really have to. You can't change somebody. You can't help somebody who don't want to be helped. Even if they want to be helped, there is a resistance from their side to simply open their mind, to open their heart, to open themselves to the change. Because in order for you to willing to change, I think this is why most people will choose to maybe change before all the suffering, or even when everything go down, to simply then decide, okay, well, I'm sick, maybe I should start working out. Well, this is what happened, well, maybe I should eat healthy. And this is, I think, problem of most of us, because we are not realizing that there is what we're doing to ourselves. Because we're leaving ourselves on the side, thinking that many things are important, life is important, appointment is important, but then you kind of leave yourself alone, and sooner or later you will simply, I will say, burn out, or even simply feel even more lost. And this is why it's important to have people in your life who are there to kind of help you or throw you even. This is why I think also when we met a few years ago, I strongly believe that there is a connection between people energetically. Like when I'm working with the people in the last 6 years, I become very sensitive to people and energy, and also to what is going on around me. When I meet someone, somehow I can see, not through them, but I can feel the good and I can feel the bad. So I think this is what happened also with us. We had a connection, then we lose each other, then reconnect again. And I see that you are somebody who is always open to help other people. Also because you and me, we was going through the same experience before. And this is why we decided, okay, this is what helped me, and I would like to share this with you so it maybe can help you. So for people who are in a dark place, or for people who are a little bit lost, what is something that you would like to say, and what are the steps that maybe they can take to simply find a little bit spark to stand up and keep doing what they're doing?
I think in that state of darkness, there's a period where you just have to go through the motions. You have to, even when you don't feel like doing something, or you don't believe it's actually going to make a difference, you just have to try. So even uninspired action is better than no action at all.
Yes.
And for me, what that looked like was, I got so low at one point that the best I could do was for 20 minutes a day, I would get on my motorbike and I would drive around in the sunshine and feel the wind in my hair, the sun in my face, look at the ocean, and then go back to my dark cave. But that was me opening the blinds just a little bit, just to take a peek, and then close them back. All right, so that's how it began, and then slowly, it turned into, all right, well, I'm gonna go for a walk now. I'm actually gonna move my body. Okay, I'm gonna stop eating all these fried foods and stop buying chocolate from the grocery store.
Yeah,
okay,
there was a lot of emotional things.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start eating fruit and real foods, right? So, baby
and it's
steps.
small
Steps.
changes. Because I think most of us, when we see, I need to change my life, I need to stop smoking, like, I smoke for 20 years, I know. It's really difficult. Like, seeing a bigger picture sometimes is really not easy.
Yeah.
And when you're in dark place, even going for a walk, going on a motorbike, it changed completely, because most of the time you will be home by yourself because you have a really low self-esteem, and whoever is around you, it doesn't matter who they are, they will not give you, because you are the first one who are not seeing yourself, not respecting yourself, and not seeing yourself as a person who has something to give, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're very low, like, why will somebody even listen to me?
Yeah.
And when you start taking action, right? It means go for a walk, go for.
Your mind believes what you do more than what you say.
Yes.
So your actions speak to your subconscious mind far stronger than your words do. And I think what you're talking about, how this is a big thing with depression, is you feel like you are a burden to people. So you isolate yourself. And the more you isolate yourself, the more of a burden you feel. It becomes this spiraling positive feedback loop in a negative direction. And so what happened for me too was I started to show up in my relationships. Simply friendships that I would keep blowing off, meeting with people, even for like a sunset in a coconut, I would just not go. I would say, next time. I started to change when I began to show up to what I said I was going to show up, which is a huge thing.
Yes.
When you keep your word,
yes,
changes everything.
But keep your word to yourself and for yourself.
First and foremost.
Because I went to state when I was depressed. I had friends, still have very close friends who went through this very low, and I know how it is, and I know the moment you see the message from someone, you kind of push things away because nothing and no one will make you feel better. But when you decide to take a first step and say, okay, hey, just send a message and say, hey, today I'm busy, but I'll see you tomorrow. You still answer to the message, you, even if you say no at the moment, but you make a first step.
That's the baby step,
I think it's really important. And let's talk about movement, okay? Now that you wake up with a different state of mind and you have more desire for life, right? How is your day look like?
Well, the different state of mind is a result of the different state of body. I think that movement is such a therapy for me because of the state that it puts me in. So if I do not move, especially for days on end, I can feel a shift in my energy, the level of even just basic optimism and belief. I feel more restless. I don't have as much presence. So for me, the state of mind, the state of being is generated through movement. And so that's why I begin and end every day with stretching. I drop down into a little frog squat. I do some extending the legs to each side. I just move my spine, my lower back tension. I do a little downward dog, a couple push-ups. I get my blood flowing. I think energy trapped in the body is reflected as energy trapped in the mind.
Yeah.
So I release tension every morning, every night. And then as far as my practice, my daily practice, I don't always train hard, but I do always do some type of training, some type of movement. So it always begins with stretching, again, when I get to the gym, normally hanging.
Yeah, open up your body. I think it's important.
Yeah. So then once I open the body, I like to go into calisthenic movements because it continues that deep focus and presence on my body. So practicing handstands, and obviously the level of engagement that forces upon you is just very therapeutic. And then and I love doing some strength training. I normally just do about 20 minutes maybe of strength training. Upper body circuit mixed in with some lower body circuits, and then I go ahead and either do a run, skip rope, or go to the sauna and ice bath.
Nice.
And that's my daily practice.
Now that I have an idea of your day, I like how you say I starting my day with opening my body, because I think it's really important for us, because the moment you sleep, right? Most of us sleeping in totally different position. Like I sleep, for example, on the side. So it means the more I sleep on the side, my shoulder is completely compressed. So the shoulders leaning forward. So it means when I wake up, I need to open a little bit my body. I need to do some twist, so that I can feel everything open. So that my posture is going to be more open. I do some breathing. So even a few minutes. And also what I noticed that normally when you go to the gym, you always put yourself into some routine. I believe that what you say, that you like to go on the floor or simply open your body, and you will do a little bit of everything in base of how you feel and what you feel. Same will be for your workout, right? You don't go there and say, okay, today I'm going to focus on this.
Not as much anymore, no.
Yeah.
No. It's very intuitive. It's what do I feel like doing, mixed with what are my goals.
Exactly.
So I'm aware of what I want, and so I make sure my actions align with the path that leads there. So I think I'm in a different place with my movement practice than a lot of people. I'm more in a state of maintenance and skill progression. So I'm trying to learn handstands and calisthenics and maintain the strength of my body overall, my hinge capability, my rotation, mobility, my shoulders, right? So I'm more in a maintenance phase, growing, of course, in small ways, but primarily focusing on the skills I want to develop and what ways do I need to strengthen my body in order to do them. So for some people that are not ready yet, if they're brand new to the gym or just very out of shape, it's important to have a routine.
A structure, yeah.
You need to have something that your mind can latch onto. Whereas if it's just like, yeah, go move intuitively, it's this openness. There's no concrete, path. It's just this ambiguous, emptiness and confusion. So
you will end up to do the same thing you did the day before.
Or nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing at all.
So that's why, with the clients a lot of times, of course I give them a very structured program. For myself, because I've been training for 18, 19 years with, not just as a personal trainer, but with many personal trainers, I know intuitively what to do in order to get to where I want to go. I've always had the intention to never let my body become a prison. So there's that phrase of, strength without flexibility is rigidity. Flexibility without strength is instability. So the reason I am so focused every day on developing both is because I want my body to be strong through its ability to bend, right? I bend so I don't break. It's kind of cliche, but it's so true. And I think a lot of times people get injured from strength training because they haven't worked on the mobility and not just strengthened their tendons and ligaments and joints, but opened them. If you don't do both,
even if they do, they just do a little bit, or even they will do it. Same thing you say in a video of yesterday, I think. That says, okay, don't go into stretching before your workout. Like
static stretching.
Yeah, static stretching. You can do dynamic, and you can simply move the body, warm up. That is not so much hold, but then you don't go into relaxation. But then you're ready to move.
Right.
So I think it's important once you know what you're doing, to explore and to play. And that's the beauty of the movement. Like, there is no right or wrong yet. There are many specific movements, there are many specific disciplines or categories that people like. It can be a CrossFit, a calisthenics, powerlifting, bodybuilding, strength training, dancing, Qigong, skateboarding, rollerblading. And this is the beauty of us humans. It's really nice to combine as many things as we can, what works for us. So how now, I will say, now that you see how important the movement, meditation, breathwork is for you, and first of all, what is the first thing that you would like people to take from this? Like, if somebody is now willing to start transformation, their own journey, obviously they will need to start where they are, right? They will need to be, first of all, willing to change for themselves, willing to take action, and then say, okay, what will be my goal, or what do I want to work on, and how can they implement, for example, Tai Chi? How can they implement strength training into their life?
Well, Chi body is the integration of Qigong, which just means Qi is energy, Gong is practice. So it's an energy practice. So it's simply the integration of Qigong with strength training and mobility. So the way those two fit together comes down to what I call BMBA. BMBA is body, mind, breath awareness. So this is something that was repeated to me by the Kung Fu masters I learned from. Body, mind, breath, these are the three pillars of the human experience. You can be aware of your body, you can be aware of your mind, and you can be aware of your breath, which has always been synonymous with spirit, because there's nothing to really grasp onto with your mind, so therefore your mind is more open. So when you're aware of your body, your mind, and your breath, while you move, you're pulled into a state of presence, and all of a sudden, everything you do, whatever movement you're doing, is transformed into one of mindfulness. And as we talked about, there's a whole cascade of neurological and physiological benefits of that. So if you're talking about how people can begin to get into this, it's BMBA. Be aware of your body, your mind, and your breath as you do your normal workouts, as you do push-ups in the morning, as you do, you make your coffee, right? Qigong meditation is the same thing.
Exactly.
99% of the meditative spiritual practice happens in daily life. Same thing for this mindful movement. Why does mindful movement have to stop when you leave the gym? No, it should be a continuous flow. Even now, I am aware of how my body feels. It's grounding me into the present moment. There's awareness of the body, the mind, the breath, and therefore I can flow with whatever's happening. I don't know what I'm going to say right now. I have no idea where my mind is going, what words are going to come out next, and yet I'm flowing just like we all do, but with a little more intention. And so it's the same thing when you move. You'll find that the awareness within you moves itself. It shows you what the path is, no matter what your movement or goals are.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And explaining like this, it seems very simple.
It is simple.
Because what I see from people around me, like people that I work a lot with, we complicate our lives so much. And it's seriously so difficult to find time for yourself. I mean, it's possible. But instead of understanding how it needs to become part of you, it needs to become part of yourself. And same like you say, meditation, or even simply you can be in the cafe and simply be present and live, even sipping coffee, and simply having an experience that the person next to you will never have. It's like really loving what you're doing, enjoying the moment of simply being alive, being present. I think this is key to everything.
Absolutely.
So how can people now, I know you have a course, you have a 3 months amazing course, and how can people now apply for this, and what they can get with this course by trying actually to do the Qi breath, the Qi body? Can you explain a bit more about it?
Of course, yeah. So my website is idolmastery.app. And it's essentially where I host my 3 courses. One is a peak performance mindset course, which is where I'm teaching you how to integrate mindfulness into your thoughts and awareness, building daily routines, simple routines that are life-changing.
The habits. Yeah.
It's the literal formula that I followed to get myself out of my own depressions. My dark cycles, I would follow a routine, and I've refined it for like 10, 15 years now. So that's what I teach in that course, and it's very powerful. And then there's a mindful movement course, which is where I teach the Tai Chi form, the Qigong forms, and basically give you a little taste of what mindful movement is. And then the third one is the muscle mass and mobility. So it's specifically targeting people who want to build muscle, hypertrophy. There's 2 different types. So we do the cyclical dual hypertrophy system, and I combine it with my own personal mobility routine that I do every day, nutrition.
This is more for people who are into working with dumbbells, with barbells, like more into strength.
It's a standard gym workout. But if you can combine it with the Qigong principles, it changes everything. So those 3 courses are all there. They're not crazy expensive, and you can get them 50% off if you get them all together. And then the last thing is the personal coaching that I do. So I work with people for 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months at a time.
Yes.
And this is where I get to really go in deep with people, understand where they are in their life right now, understand why they're in that state, understand what they want, and then help them develop a path to get there.
This is, I think, one of the most powerful things. First, we want to understand why you're in this state, right? And where do you want to go? Okay, how we can get there. So I think that this is priceless, because it can really help people to completely change their life, change this perspective of how they see themselves and how to implement whatever they need in their life. So that's very powerful. One thing, now that you're part of the body connection movement, and I'm extremely proud of that, because I always say that you are a very powerful person when it comes to personality of who you are, the way how you teach and how you lead people, and also what you have to say and the teachings that you're using. So are you going to bring here the Qi body system and technically show them what they can learn in simply 30 days of how this gonna be.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm very honored to be part of the Body Connection as well, and I'm grateful to be
Thank you.
invited, to be appreciated and seen. That's always the biggest gift you can give anyone, so thank you for that. And the platform you're creating is incredible. The coaches that you're bringing together are incredible. It's going to be a transformational service and platform for a lot of people. So my 30-day challenge is the Chi Body 30-day challenge. It's where I show you, first of all, how to feel inside of your body, which is fundamental for any type of Qigong or Tai Chi. So feeling inside of the body with mindfulness is how we begin. And then we have a structured approach to how to actually integrate awareness with physical structure inside the body. There's different ways to generate force. And then there's the actual energy practices that we take into whatever movement we're doing. So it's a very simple, 5 to 10 minutes a day type of challenge. Wow. And I think that by the end of it, you're going to intuitively know where to go next. That's the goal, is to not need me or to not need a teacher, but to become your own teacher.
Yes.
And so from there, of course, there's always going to be more structure and more programs and more guidance to give. But ideally, by the end of the 30 days, you're going to know where to take yourself after that.
Yeah, because you understand actually where you are and how to feel and how to move with your body. I mean, how to feel is the most important part. How to move is going to become part of you. And yes, I'm very honored for that, because we have now 9 coaches inside the Body Connection movement. We have requests from a few other coaches that we're going to welcome. And I really like it, because for me it's been 5 years working on the project, and now finally we connected, and I can say that I'm extremely proud. And you bring this calm and peace into Body Connection movement, self-awareness, self-discipline, Chi Body, working with the energy, when somebody else is bringing more strength and more bodybuilding or more meditation and breath work. So because we all have different way of learning, right? So I think having so powerful people that can explain only the way they know, I think is very unique. So last thing, in Body Connection movement, we are working to a very powerful project that is a wellness experience. You're a very big part of that also project. So can you tell something about that?
Well, the human body has so many different ways of moving, right? There's so many different ways to train it, to strengthen it. And the really unique thing about the wellness experience is within your own home, you now have access to every angle of body mobility and strength training possible.
Exactly.
And what's really unique as well is that it comes with direct access to the platform that we're building.
The Reconnect app, exactly.
So because you're going to be able to have the capability to move and train your body in any way, you're also going to have the coaching, the instruction, the programs, the structure in order to also follow through on that.
That's amazing.
So,
hello.
So because this is so accessible and so easy to use, I think it's going to be something that's incredibly transformational for people, and they can install it directly into their homes. They have direct access to you, to me, to all our coaches.
Yes.
And the wellness experience couldn't be named any better.
Yeah.
It is
because
experience of wellness brought to you.
It's all about experience in life, I think, and the reason why this sparkles something powerful in me is that I see my own, when I started calisthenics training, I fell in love with the process, with how many things you can do with your own body. And most people don't obviously know that, and they're pretty shy because they don't even know how to move. So when we talk about Body Connection, the wellness experience, they're simply products. They're parallels, gymnastic rings. So even if you train at home, you can use it, but then you also have chance to bring it outside. Imagine you will have rings now, you can just simply hang them out here, right? So it's more accessible when it comes to mobility, right, to movement part, and you can always have the app that is available to you in any device that you have. And also good thing about this app is that people can only not also see the coachings that we have, but they can also, it's like accountability coaching system, they can also have access of calories they consume in a day. They can also track their workouts. They can also see the progressive work that they will do. If they will do today 10 reps of one movement, tomorrow they will see that this is the number they did. Wow, they can simply increase. So it's very important for people to progress better.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Perry. I'm excited that you're part of everything, and looking forward to explode and to bring the wellness experience to people.
Yeah, thank you for the inspiration. You always are, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Excited to bring this to life.
Thank you, and we see you in the next one.